for training an TensorFlow, like object detection model in TensorFlow, we can refer these documents which were provided by TensorFlow itself. So which says like you have to create a certain folder, like in the sense a kind of a folder structure initially, like let's download this TensorFlow object detection API, and let's try to kind of prepare this structure here, and then like we can use it for training a model. So, but this comes at the later phase when we are actually training a model. But as of now, for preparing your data set, so let's see, there is a Python package called label.img, so which you can download by using pip install label.img. So once it is done, then just call label.img, and then it will open. Actually, it will open the pop-up with the image, and then set of predefined classes which you have to label it. We will see that as well in the video. Like we can also see that. But as of now, let's see how to set up this object detection API. Okay, so like GitHub, there is a, let me go to this GitHub TensorFlow model, where actually we have this object detection. If you search like object detection API TensorFlow, you'll be able to reach to this point, or else like you can see this link in the description. So, okay. So taking this point, this is where actually object detection model is, which contains official as well as research versions available. So official is mostly like 2.0 APIs. So which will be, and then if you go inside this official, okay, so you'll be finding few of those packages, but our object detection model, I think, is in research folder. So go to research. So, and there are like few others as well. Okay, you can see there are like so many others. So ours is object detection, which we are trying to do. So go to this object detection. This is where you find like all the files. Okay, so what you should be doing is, so but for take off this thing, like you should be cloning the entire Git repository by going to this models, and then like click on this code. You get a small pop-up where you can copy this file, go to the place where you want to save the project. So let me do here, let me do project, and here I am going to like you can keep a project name, or as of now maybe TensorFlow object detection. Okay, so and here you can open your command prompt and then do git clone and this thing. Okay, so once you do it, it will start downloading the models from here. You can see that this models folder has come, and slowly it will start downloading each of those files here. Okay, so you can see the progress is going on, and slowly it will download all of it. But I'm not actually going to do, because I already have downloaded it. So once you have downloaded it, you'll be getting those files here. Okay, so I already have downloaded it. So let me open that. Okay, you'll be getting these files here. So what are given in that Git repository. So from here, what you should be doing is, so go to that research folder, so object detection. So you'll be getting all these files. Okay, so the next step would be to do a setup here, like at the research module there is a setup.py. So what you should do is, so open your like navigate your command prompt to there, and then you can activate a conda environment like within which you want to install this, and you have TensorFlow. Here I am using TensorFlow 2.2 version, which was as per recommended here. So I have already like okay, there is one model above, I guess, or maybe inside of the, oh, okay, not here. So it will be within this research. So object detection, you'll be able to find here that like these are done for TensorFlow 2.2 version, and even like 1.15 version. So I would recommend you to use this 2.2 version. So because there are like more models available and it is much more latest. Okay, so let's use the same here, And one I already have an created an Conda environment using TensorFlow 2.0 2.2 version. So in case we want to create, like go to Conda create and then hyphen name of the environment what you want, and then Python. I'm using Python 3.6.8. So after that, what you should do is activate that environment just like here, Conda activate, and then you can do pip install TensorFlow equal to 2.2. Okay, so that will install the latest 2. It's not the latest is 2.3 at the moment while we are recording this video, but 2.2 would be sufficient for this object detection API. Okay, so I already have installed it, so I'm not redoing it again. And in case if you have a GPU, there are a few kind of setup which you have to do, like CUDA, CUDNN, as well as like some other things which I have like explained in a different video. I'll give you the link of that video as well in the description. You can follow that. So once this is done, now it is ready. Now what you should do is Python setup.py was there, right? So within that folder, so setup.py install. So this will, what this will do is this will make this particular library thing as a kind of a library, and install this object detection which you can use it anywhere, not even here. You can use it in any other folder. You can see there are you can see what are things going on here. What is happening is this is making this object detection as a kind of uh, what you say, like as a kind of a library which you can use it anywhere. Like you can just do import object detection and then reuse it. Okay, so this is what is happening over here. But for this object detection to work, even here there are like few like dependencies which you need to install. So one of them is Proto. So I actually have copied all the required things here. So Protalk is one more thing, like which you have to download and install. So installation is nothing but like you extract that Protalk and it will come like this. So just like Protobuf, you can search for Protalk download. So it will download the, you can download this Protalk from here as well, or anywhere here as well. Okay, so and once you download it, you'll be getting a zip file. So which once you extract, it will be like this. Okay, so now what you should do is go to environment variables. So what you should do is you have to add this in environment variables. So go to environment variables, go to the path, and here we should be adding these path here. Okay, copy this path, as well as next time you also copy this bin path. Okay, inside the bin folder. So and add those things here. I already have added it here. So you can find it over here where it is. See here, Protalk, as well as this one. In case we want to add it newly, click on new, and then here you paste it. Okay, so that's, and then once you did it, like both of them, even in the bin folder as well, then you click OK and OK here. So then automatically what will happen is the system will know where the Protalk will lie. Okay, so this is one thing which should be installed, as well as along with this there is also one more dependency which was Coco API. Okay, let me go inside and show you one more. So that's it. I think like this would actually work. So apart from that, there is Coco API which you have to download. So here you can go and do a download here. So I'll send you the link as well in a repository. You can go to this release page where you can go to the, yes. So this is where you can go and download. This is for Python, right? So go for Python. So where you want to download and download your package. Okay. So okay, this is fine. So next thing is there is also one more thing called Coco API. So go to installation here. Actually, all those dependencies will be there, I guess. This is about Anaconda environment, Python. So GPU, you need to install these three as I have mentioned. So environment setup as well. So, and then this comes up, I think. Yes, protobuf installation. You can find the link here itself within this page. You'll be able to find. And once you have added that, what you should be doing is you have to run this command, proto object detection protos. So what actually does it mean is like actually models research. So from here, most of the operations you will do it from this level of page. So here protoc, now you should be able to call the protoc by doing this protoc, because we have added the path. So object detection is a folder. Within that folder there are few protos. So like let me take this command, look at the command. So protos, and within that there are these proto files. You have to do like this, which will generate a Python output file. So let me go inside and show you. So in this there are protos, and initially when you download there will be only these dot proto files. Okay, so these dot proto files, once you run this command, it will generate a dot Python files. So like this, it will start generating these files out of those proto files. Okay, so for doing this, like we need to run this command, what is proposed here. So once this is done, there is one more dependency which is called Cocoa API. Okay, so this Cocoa, for this Cocoa API, what you should do is, so this is a repository which actually you can directly import, clone the repository directly from here and install it. So by doing this, actually you are installing the Cocoa API. So and then this is actually used for kind of like data set related, and like there are metrics related things, right? So you'll be able to use it by installing this Cocoa API. Okay, but for this Visual Studio C++15, this dependency is there, so which you can install it from here. Like there is a link here in this page as well, you can install it. So once this is done, so then what you should be able to do is, now you are ready. You just have to go to this object detection packages TensorFlow. So here there is again a setup.py which you can use it to install. Okay, so this way you will be able to install it. So, and one more thing, sometimes there will be an issue here, kind of installation of but actually like this, that it did not come to me, like it used to come for a previous version, but by using this package, like usually that doesn't come if you already installed C++15 build tools. Okay, then there won't be any issues like this. So this is it about installing dependencies. Now we are ready to like run an object detector on top of it. Okay, now for training your object detection, there are certain steps which you have to do a kind of a conversion of your data into some different formats, and we have to do some kind of a configuration, what pre-trained model you want to use and such kind of things, which we'll be looking at it in a different session. Okay, so that is about it, about setting up a TensorFlow object detection API. And once we are ready with that, then now we'll once we collect the data, and then we will be able to do all these things. So as of now, I actually have a sample data sets which I have downloaded from a few sites. So one is chess data set, so which actually you need to, finally what you have to do is you have to make it in this format. Finally you have to get this in this format. I'll show you, like I'll tell you what it is. So initially if you go to JPG images, these contain your images, so which I have already it already have come with like a split of train, test and val. So if you go to train, so there are these images here, so which if you can open it, you'll find a image like this is a chessboard image, like which I think I have downloaded. I don't remember exactly which website I have downloaded. I will mention you that as well. So this is a kind of a chessboard image where there is an icon. Okay, so where there is one chess piece. So what we should be doing is, in this the target is, it should identify where in what location this is located, this is exists, and also classify what that chess piece is. Okay, so something like that. So if you, there are like many like this. Okay, so it should be able to detect what are each of these pieces, and where it is located, both of them, like kind of a bounding box on top of it, and as well as this thing. So where actually bounding box is located is while downloading this, it is from Robotflow dataset website. Okay, so once it is done, actually we also have like CSVs which were provided by the website itself, with after annotating. So it means they have used maybe a label image tool or maybe another tool, with which what they have done is they have drawn boxes on top of it. So this is a file name which we have opened. For each of the file name, what it contains is a class. So here it's a black color bishop, and then these are the boxes like xmin, ymin, xmax, ymax. So it is in the format of x1, y1, x2, y2. In that format, like it has been stored, as well as the image width and height is also stored here. Okay, so this is the information which was stored in the annotations. So using this, actually what we should do is we will be able to train our object detection model. Okay, so that is our final intention. So let me not save it here, any changes. Okay, this is done even for test and validation as well. So these two will be available once you download. These are the things which you should be generating by yourself. So for doing this, what I have done is I actually created a script which will uh, like where we have to just give the path of this data where this lies, and with this folder we have to give this folder path here. So using this path, what it will do is it will generate a TF record. So what this TF record is a kind of a format where your image data is converted into a kind of a string. Okay, in a different format which is known to TensorFlow. So you can see it doesn't look like anything easy, right? It is some encoding is done, so which was given by the TensorFlow API. So such kind of encoding is done here. So and this encoded one is a new data set. This train.record contains all the train information, training data within it. And this train val is actually a combination of your train and validation data set. This is validation data set. This is your test data set. So I actually will share you the script which I have created for generating those, which is also available within this folder itself. So that is also needed. So let me go here and data set tools, I guess. So this is where actually you will find that thing. Like I have created a new, like create chess. This is a chess data set, right? So I've made a new file and actually used the code from here itself. I did not do any something differently. So here what I have done is, so you can go to main here where I am reading the CSV. So and this data, I'm taking each file at a time. Here I'm going through each file list, and each file at a time I am passing through this function. Okay, so nothing else is there in that. So this is just that. And in this function, what is happening is you can reuse the same thing. So this is the function which it will be called. So this contains what you say, image path will be passed where it will read the image, and that image is encoded. So this is the image which will be called, right? So that image is being encoded here. So that image, and then it will be saved in a different format. I'll show you where it is. And similarly, each row width and height is taken, and each row here it will look for x min, y min, x max, y max, what is given over there, as well as class of the object. So all these things it will take and it will store in this format. So this is this TF train example. So which is the format used by TensorFlow as well. Like this is one different format. So by doing this, actually your training will be much faster compared to previous way, because the way it reads, it did not have to read the image and convert it into a format and then do it. So all these is contained within this. So that is one advantage of this. So taking this, all this image height and image width like this in a format, it will be saved here. Source ID, the encoded image is being saved, format is being saved, and as well as every object wise bounding box, x mean, y mean, like this, x text and label, all these things. So this is just one more added like difficulty which was there earlier. because we don't have any such label with us. I'm just making it false everywhere. Okay, so this information will get stored within the TF record. Okay, this you don't have to worry at all. Our data will be of same size. You just have to run this, nothing else. Like in case if you want to do any modification, you just have to modify only here, because maybe x instead of x max y max x1 x1 y1 x2 y2, it may be in the format of x by wh. So then you may have to modify only in this format. Other than that, you can blindly run this file. Okay, by doing this, it will get stored. We'll be giving this here writer dot write, and this, it will be serialized to string, and it will be stored within this writer, so which is our train tf dot record. Okay, so this is where actually we'll be able to get these values, and this is how we'll be able to generate those tf dot records. Okay, what we should be doing is just run this file, nothing else. And for this we have to provide arguments. So what we should provide is, I already actually have provided the data path here. So data chess, as well as where to save is tf record, and where like this is one more thing which contains this pv.text, right? So let me go to the data set. If you go to the data set, this also should contain this pv.text which is needed. So it has nothing but like each of the class name in this format. So white king, white queen, bishop, this one, each of them we are assigning an id to it. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 so on. Okay, similarly, this is a list. We should prepare it manually, but we already have it with us, right? So you don't have to worry about it. So I'll share you these files. What you should do is run this file, and once this is ready, then what we should be doing is we have to do a kind of a configuration. Okay, so what we'll get now is a data set like this. So where your JPG images are in this folder, where you have this test in one file, as well as train in one file, validation is one file. Okay, and then annotations here in this, in the format which I've showed as a CSVs here in this folder. And now it will create a TF record by running the script what we have showed here, right? So this, running this script here will generate this TF record here. Okay, by using this, now what we should be able to do is, now we are ready with the data. Okay, so now we are ready to run the model. So we need to take some pre-trained models. Okay, so how we will get is, so there are few pre-trained models available. This TensorFlow object detection API has a link for it. So we can go to this. We are now using TensorFlow 2.x, right? So we can go to this model zoo for it. So where you'll be able to find all those like models here. Okay, so these are the models which are available. You can download any of these models. It can be anything. So depending on your so you can see here, this is the speed of the model, like in how much, how long would it take for your model to give the output. So this is the output. So, and this is a kind of an accuracy metric. So COCO accuracy, mean average precision metric. So which will be, which is also listed out here for each of the model. So what we should do is select a file like which is like actually takes less time to take do an inference on it. And all as well, you can also see if it is doing good or not, because like if you take a faster model, means it will be a simpler model mostly. So and like which is not doing good at all, so that doesn't solve our purpose. We can also if you take a very large model like this, so which takes 211 milliseconds, so but the model is very large, so it may not fit in your system as well. So that kind of situation is also there. So you can take one of these models, so which is doing good with the more mean average precision. So you can see from here which is doing it. Okay, so from that you can see. Okay, so here it's in 40s, but actually this is more. Okay, so but this is decent, right? So this looks decent. You can also take this one, as well as like this is also fine actually, like it's not very bad. So one of these you can take and then train on top of it. It can be anything, you don't have to worry about the structure at all. So take one of them. For that, if you click on this, it will download a tar.z file here. So what I have done is I have already downloaded one of those files and I've saved it in a pre-trained models here. So actually I have downloaded three models. So which are Fastest RCN 650 and then this one and this one. Okay. So out of these now what we can do is like you have to do an extract of this and let's say we're talking about this 641. Okay, you have to do an extract of this and you'll find these three here. So out of which what you should be able to do is go to the checkpoint, you can find these, as well as if you go to save model, you'll find this PB file. Okay, now there is one more thing called pipeline.config. Actually, it contains, if you open this pipeline.config, so it contains the configuration file which can be used for this particular model. Okay, but any configuration file you have, you will have this set of parameters which you need to be set up. Okay, so let's come from the last, like because all the kind of modifications are here as like we need to do modification at these 5 levels, so you can see this path to be configured. So what does this mean is this means a checkpoint, fine-tune checkpoint, what model you want to import. So what we can do is you can give this path, so it is till this checkpoint path, you can copy this path and give it over there, and you should also take this checkpoint 0 as well. Okay, so because so okay, let me show you here. So this way you can take it and have it, paste it here. So like this. So this will now know from where it should load the checkpoint. Okay, and the next thing is there is this label.txt. So this as well, this is, you can see this, like this is the pb text file which we have used, right? So if you go further to the data set, we have created this pb text file. Okay, so use the pb text file. So if you go inside, this is this thing like which contains this list of all these things. So we have to use this path. Okay, so copy that path here. So or I have an path copy function, like software which will list down this thing, but in case if you don't have, you can do a copy this way and also add this name over there. Okay, so what you should be able to do is, so you should be able to add this here, entire thing you have to add it like this. Similarly, you also have to add it here where the label map path is there. And now the next thing is train input reader as well as eval input reader. So here what you should do is, these are the TF files which are been created once we ran that file, right? So now you take this train record path and copy this path and paste it here. And similarly, you should also be doing for eval, because this is a validation set. Like by doing this, what we are saying is to the model, we are telling these are the path what you should be taking to okay, by doing this, now save this pipeline config file, and this config file you can use it. Okay, then what you do is that config file you save it here. Okay, I have saved it here already, like so this contains this, just a moment. So this contains the same thing, like here the fast version I also have named it with the model name, so that I'll be able to identify what model it is from outside. So and I have all these things in like here. And in case now if you want to change the batch size and do a tuning here, right, learning rate, you can do it here. Okay, you just have to change the things here instead of doing it in a code. You can do all those things in the configuration file, and with that you will, our model, we can do a tuning. Okay, so now the next part would be just like one more step remaining. What it will be is like going to this research folder, go to this object detection folder. Here there are this model, ours is like tf2, right? So you can go to this model main tf2. So this is a folder which we can use. So and here there are like many arguments which are required, like pipeline config path is the configuration path which we have saved now, just now, right? So and number of training steps you want, and so on like this. Okay, checkpoint here. So most of the things I actually can be like taken a default value, and like few things which are needed, I already have those set of values. I have stored it in a helper file. So one thing like it's better to do is, oh okay, I don't have it here. So okay, yeah, actually all these things I have saved it in one kind of a helper object detection installation list, where I have mentioned all these steps here and what are the steps to be taken. So you can follow this and then change it accordingly. So these paths are actually my local path. It will differ for you, like where you have saved it accordingly. And you can use this particular. Okay, so what exactly you want to do? Okay, like actually, let's say you want to use this one. So copy this. So where you have to give model there, where it means like which path you want to save your exported model. See here I have created one exported models and like this. So this is where I want to save my model. Okay, so I want to save my trained model. So this is where it is trained and saved here. Okay, so for doing this, like because once you train you have a model, right? So that you want to save it somewhere. So that path you have to give here as a model there. And then the next part would be a pipeline configuration path. So the config path which you have saved at the just some time back, right? So this one which I have saved. So this path where I made all the path setups and all those things, you can copy this path as well and then give it here. Not where. So you change it over here to that path, and then now this whole thing. Okay, so this entire thing you can copy and run it from your research folder. Okay, so take it, go till research folder. From here, if you run this now here, so what it will do is it will create the folder, the required folder here, right? So where you want to send the output here, it will create that folder what you have set up here, and it will start storing the model here. Okay, so like this. So you just have to run, it will start. And like it will take a lot of time. Okay, I'm mentioning before. So it's, you can see it starts loading now. And slowly what will be done is like it will start retraining the model and saving it over here. Okay, so that is done here. And once it is done, now you got a model ready which is already trained on the data set what you have prepared. Okay, so that is about TensorFlow object detection API. You can follow this video and do the setup, and it will work fine as long as you have the computational capability. So in case if you don't have it overloads and you get a memory overflow error, then I would recommend you to use a smaller model, maybe which takes very less time here, right? So mostly those are your smaller models. You can so this takes only 27 this one. And there are also models which were meant for CPU, but that is only there in case of TensorFlow 1. So you can also use this. Yeah, you can also go for this mobile net version, like which actually is meant to run in mobiles as well. Okay, so this, you can try this model, which is a smallest among all. This may not give better accuracy as you expect, but this is easy to run as well as very light model. Okay, so I would recommend you to use this model, SSD mobile net version 2. And you can see this 320 by 320 is the image size which it will be resizing it into and running the model. Okay, so I would recommend you use this initially and then train the model. So once it is okay, then it will. You can see there are like so many commands which will come from here by using this object detection while training. Okay, so you can monitor your training here. So okay, so see, you can see there are like so many things going up here. So depending on that, it will work. Okay, so that is about object detection using TensorFlow API. Let's also implement this with the custom data what we have. And now I am actually running it on the custom data, and this will finally output you the metrics, like kind of evaluation metrics and the kind of a performance on the test data, on the validation as well for each epoch here. Okay, you can look at this log file and then check what is happening. Okay, so that is about a TensorFlow object detection training for a custom objects. Okay, so